is awkward.
Cool.
For joining. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, man?
I'm good. I'm just eating my rice right now.
There we go.
All right. Enough with my rice. How was work?
That was cool. It was cool. Just being a sales rep. That's all.
So wait, you work for not Dunlop. What is
Yep.
it? Oh, it is Dunlop. Okay. So like the actual picks and all that.
Yeah, done. Like the picks, MXR, Crybaby, all that stuff.
That is so fucking cool, man. That is so cool.
And
I'm so
yeah,
happy for you because you were
thank
doing
you.
you were doing pedals, right, or something like that before.
Yeah. So I worked in the tech support department for a year, and then I just moved over to sales in March.
How was it working, or how was it working for them? Do you? I mean, it's no one's ever gonna hear this, but like, how is it working for them?
Honestly, dude, like even if you put this in, I don't care. But it's honestly one of the best experiences I've ever had.
Okay, that's cool.
Just like getting to work with a company that I've loved since I started playing music, and then for it to be just as cool, like actually being on the inside, it's been a really good time.
Okay, cool. Like, no, I think actually this episode's gonna be really great because, eventually I'll probably get around to asking you, like, if someone wanted to get involved with something like that, like, how would they, how would they do that? Because obviously it sounds like you got your foot in the door with, you said, tech support. So I mean, like, you got to be at least computer savvy in some sort of way or tech savvy.
Yeah, I mean, it's like for me because I worked at a local music store in Fairfield for a
Okay.
long time, so like I had some experience. And it's funny that you say that because my roommate is Jake, the bassist of both the bands,
Okay.
and I helped him get a job in production, and
Okay.
then at some point he's gonna move into tech support because they're expanding that department.
Nice.
So
Cool.
yeah,
So I should apply, is what you're saying. I'm just kidding. I'm trying to get out of my job. I do shipping and receiving right now, and oh man, I hate it. I work for like a car parts, so it's like, oh man, it's a fucking headache. I mean, I'm sure like not all shipping and receiving positions are like the one that I'm in, but the one I'm in, oh my god, just the way that it's ran is just terrible. It's
gotcha.
terribly managed.
Yeah, and that's trash, man. I'm sorry. It's like and it's hard too because it's like COVID did kind of make things like hard to get. So I don't know how long you've been there, but it's like I was fortunate to not like lose a bulk of my income.
Yeah.
So it's like I know that a lot of people had to like kind of hop around and just like make money where they could make it. But now that
Yeah,
things are
no, I took the time off. Like, I got laid off from COVID, and then I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna like do me for a few months, and then I did that. I just sat around and played some fucking video games and just relaxed and just just took care of me for a bit. And then I found this job, and it was kind of okay at first, but then man, it's just I literally took the next 2 days off because I'm so fucking stressed out being there. I'm so stressed out being at this job that like I'm literally getting like stomach ulcers or acid reflux or something. I'm just so fucking stressed out over it. But anyways, this is not about me. This is about you. How are you? How is the band going on? How's music? Let's go.
well, I'm good. Um, nothing too crazy. I mean, just like everyone, we're all just kind of waiting to see if this whole shows are coming back is legit or not. Not trying to prematurely throw our names back in the hat, but also, kind of making it known that we're on standby.
Yeah.
I would say the band stuff, it's going good. We put out a new single a couple months ago. Yeah, so February.
Okay.
And we haven't really publicly disclosed this, but I won't get in trouble for saying it.
Don't say
Yeah.
anything that you don't want anyone to know.
Oh no, it's really not a problem. Like
Okay.
it's something that we've talked about already. Um and it's kind of the same approach I've taken with me and Jake's other project, Pyramid Court. We have an album,
Okay, cool.
and that's kind of been a thing for a little while now, but COVID kind of derailed our plans, so we've been releasing everything piece by piece.
Hmm.
Just because the lack of not being able to play shows and stuff, it didn't make sense for us to dump all the songs out and then hope that everything would be okay.
Yeah.
um Obviously, now that shows are coming back, there's more of like okay, there's a chance that we can maybe release another single or two and then play some shows and then release the rest. But currently, as it stands, we are just doing it piece by piece. um I'm not going to disclose album name or anything yet because we haven't made that, but I can at least say like it is coming, and we're thankful that the 4 songs that we've released, they've gotten pretty good reception and everything. So
And is
stoked
that under
about that.
Pyramid Court?
This is under Safe Haven.
Safe Haven?
Um,
Okay.
yeah, and then Pyramid Court, I've kind of embodied that same approach with the debut record for that band. So like that band's doing an EP, and um, I can say just because it's Jake and I, we don't have overhead, but like we do have another song that's going to come out. I'm still trying to figure out like the date for it, but it's coming out sometime between second week of June and first week of July. So I have like a rough estimate as to when it's going to come out. We're just finalizing one thing, and then I'm gonna get it all ready to go.
All right. Well, I'm gonna let you in on on a secret that whoever listens to this is gonna hear. We plan. This is our plan. Plan on releasing a new single last Friday of June. If it's not
Nice.
the yeah, if it's not the last Friday of June, then it's gonna be the first Friday of July. But that all depends on what happens with the film process. So as long
Mm-hmm.
as we could actually get the music video recorded and filmed and edited correctly and everything, then bam, first or the last week of June. If we have to wait till the next week or next Friday, then it's either end of June or beginning of July. And no matter how terrible it sounds or whatever, we're putting it out. We don't care anymore. We're like fuck it. People will like it or people will hate it. We don't care no more.
Nah, I feel that. Yeah, we've been like for Pyramid Court, it's a different set of rules compared to Safe Haven. And I won't talk too much about Pyramid Court because it's like literally just a project that I had in mind for a while. Had an opportunity to play a show, played a show, thinking like, okay, we're just gonna like do online stuff. Played more shows, and then COVID happened. So now, like, we had our old drummer, he moved, and then we went through a couple guitarists. Now it's just Jake and I. So we're kind of just back in the approach of like, yeah, we'll just release music, and then if we end up playing a show, cool, but it's not a huge priority. It's more of just like a stress relief and change of pace compared to um, Safe Haven. Like obviously the backstory on that is like pretty long. And I mean you've known us since we were Without Hope, and like,
Yeah,
you
I
know,
played your last show with you guys.
yeah. So it's like, there's a long history behind that one, and it's something that we actually never really talked about. So I will happily talk about it today.
Yeah, go
Um,
for it.
but yeah, it's like people that remember, Nemo, Jake, and I, we played in a band called Without Hope for 6 years.
Damn.
Yeah, 2014 to 2020. Yep.
Yeah.
We were actually, well, technically, I guess, because we didn't announce Safe Haven until March of 2020. So yeah, we were Without Hope for 6 years. Um, and we did get asked a bunch, like why we did the name change. Um, and honestly, it was just time. This album, like all the songs that we were putting out, we actually recorded as Without Hope.
Okay.
So just like, I guess, a little bit of backstory. Um, it wasn't necessarily planned when we recorded it that we were going to do a name change.
Yeah.
Um,
Makes sense.
Nat, our old drummer for Without Hope before we got David, um, she ended up telling us when we were recording that she was going to move out of state. Um, and that kind of put a bit of a funky taste in my mouth just because her and I started this band. And don't get me wrong, like changing the name honestly was something that we've talked about at least once a year. Um, because one of our very early members was the one that came up with it, and we kind of just needed a name. If I can be honest,
Makes sense.
so it was something that we kicked around for a while, but then we just had a problem with um, other people.
Makes sense.
Like we had a guitarist for a while, he was cool, and then he left, came back, left, had another dude, he left, and then the last guy, he uh he had some problems, and for me it was really the last straw. I couldn't do it anymore. It made Without Hope feel like this is just like a place for shitty people to come join and then leave and then become like absolute menaces of society.
Oh no, that's so bad. I'm sorry.
I think I lost you.
No, I hear you. Do you hear me?
uh, yep, I think I lost you.
No, hold up. Wait up. Let me turn my video off.
I kind of hear you.
All right. Are we working? Are we back up?
And we're back.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I was able to hear you the whole time. I don't know what's going on. I've never had this happen before.
Interesting. I don't know. Mine, I was like checking mine because I was like, oh shit, did it drop? And mine was okay. There was a little bit of lag and it was trying to rejoin, but then it like kind of just gave me the same thing where it was like kind of cutting you out.
Okay, interesting. Yeah,
Um,
no, I've never had a problem with this ever, and I've done your episode 22, 3 for me.
nice. That was the first
23.
time. That was the first time for everything, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry. Anyways, so
Good,
you were
good.
saying that it was time to change the name for Without Hope because you felt like it was a band that people joined and then became menace of society after they left.
Yeah, we. I don't. I'm gonna be honest. I don't really care. I'm not gonna name drop, but these dudes know who they are. Pretty much, two of the dudes that we had ended up being like real pricks, like you know, very inappropriate with women type shit, and it
That
started getting
sucks.
it kind of. Even though they left, and sorry, my cat was crying, so
Hello, kitty.
I let
Is
him in.
is that its tail?
Yeah, he likes sitting on my monitor,
Hi,
my
kitty.
speaker.
You're good. It's okay.
But yeah, it just turned into like, dude, like this is like the second fucking time that this has happened, and like it ultimately sets us back because now it's like, all right, one time I can kind of get it, like you just didn't know, and dude wasn't like that when he was with us, like that happened. The first dude, it happened like a year and a half after he left.
Yeah.
Um, but then this other guy, it happened while he was with us, and we were just like, nope, can't do it. So like the four of us met up. David lives in the middle of the state, so me, Nemo, and Jake rolled down to Visalia. We hung out and we were talking about it, and we were shooting names. And I had actually written a song for the album called Safe Haven, and I just threw it out there just because I was like, screw it, like let's see what happens. And then it ended up sticking.
Nice.
So yeah, and it's just been, I would say overall it's been like the best experience like as a band. Like I feel like me, Nemo, and Jake have all had chemistry playing together. Jake and I for 7 years, and then Nemo for 6.
Hmm.
And then David was someone that like helped Without Hope a lot, like getting runs together and stuff. So it it's just a good fit. We had a fifth member for a little bit, and then that didn't that didn't work out. He moved on to another band. Um, but yeah, overall, we've just been chilling, man. Like we don't know when, but we have been planning on, just like you guys, filming a music video, and um, we already know like the next song we're gonna put out, and yeah, we're just kind of just going with the flow of things, trying to figure out when it makes sense for us. Hi, Bubba. When it makes sense for us to go out and play, because it sucked. Like we acknowledged that if we could go back, if we knew what was going to happen, we probably wouldn't have been like, by the way, we're Safe Haven, because we literally made the switch over, made the post and everything, and then a week and a half or 2 weeks later, it was like, guess what? Lockdown. And we had our first show planned out and everything, so we were like gonna announce the show, and then yeah, it just turned into a whole mess. But for what we had at our disposal, I'd say we did a pretty decent job at like building up some type of like exposure for ourselves, and drawing in new people despite never playing. Yeah, so
dude, I don't know what to expect for shows coming back. Like, even for us, man, I'm very like, I know we want to put music out. I know we're trying. I know that's what we're gonna do. But playing a show, I feel like it's gonna be, for us, it could be another year for all I fucking know. I have no clue, and it's mainly because I want to make sure that all these bigger bands go and do these shows or these festivals, and they're successful. That way, it's more comfortable knowing that, like, if we announce a show, we're not going to get some kind of fucking backlash for it.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I'm just going to wait it out. And, I mean, fuck, for all I know, maybe, well, because I think shows are happening in June. I think that's when the first festival. So, let's say August rolls around and things are looking up, and there's smaller bands that are playing shows at like venues in our area. Then, if Titan's ready to come back, and then we'll put something up at the end of the year. Maybe we'll just do one show by the end of the year, just to be like, cool. We're back at it. 2022 will be full fucking force, like show back to back. But it might be quite a while, depending on what happens the next 3 months. Wait, we're in May. Yeah, so the next 3 months.
No, I feel it.
Happens.
I feel that.
But
You go over here. Ooh, heavy.
Man,
yeah.
Everybody that literally, I think everyone that I do a podcast with, they all have cats.
Nice. I have
and
two.
And they all end up in the frame.
Yeah, that's Bo. I have a little kitten, a 3-month-old. His name is Lenny. And then his birthday is next month. We're trying to figure out the day.
You don't know your cat's birthday?
So, long story short, I had a cat. His name was Ty.
Aww.
And he unfortunately passed away last June.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And when a little after I started dating my girlfriend, Lily, she's a vet tech, and someone found Bo, the one that I was holding, in the middle of the highway, thought he was roadkill, saw him pick his head up. She stopped, ran out, grabbed him, and surrendered him to her at work.
That's insane.
Yeah, and so we have a rough estimate that he was about 3 months old, so we know his birthday's sometime in June. We just don't know exactly when. And yeah, so it's like, it was all just good timing, obviously, like with Ty passing away in June, 3 months, I really at the time wasn't ready to have like another pet, but she surprised me with him and was awesome enough to take care of him for the remainder of the year. It gave me time to kind of work myself to like really wanting to have another cat. But yeah, he reminds me a lot of Ty, and like he hates being separated from me. And Lenny's probably asleep on their tower out in the living room. But yeah, he's also a sweetheart. He's starting to come into his own as a little kitty.
That's awesome. See this little dog right here?
Oh yeah.
That's my little Lewis. He was on the side of a freeway, and my mom thought it was a plastic bag. So she was like, but she realized it was a little dog. And this is when he's I think he's 6 now. So yeah, he's like 6 or 7 now. Maybe 7. So this is when we got him, he was barely 2. So he was smaller. Like right now he's only like I think he's 4 pounds now. But before he was only like a pound or 2. He's baby.
That's crazy.
And yeah, she thought it was like a little bag or something. She realized it was a little dog on the fucking side of the highway. and she slammed on the brakes. My mom jumped out and she like lay down on the ground trying to get him to come to her because he was like terrified.
Mm-hmm.
And then she took him to the vet, and he was okay. And like all night, my mom was sitting there just thinking about him, like about the little dog, like making sure he's okay. And then she saw she had to wait like I guess like 48 hours or something like that to find out if like it was like a missing dog, and no
Mm-hmm.
one put a missing report out or anything. And so my mom drove there and was like, "Do you guys still have like the little dog?" And they were like, "Yeah." So my mom, bam, instantly adopted him and brought him home, and then
Nice.
we named him Lewis.
That's awesome. Yeah, it was. It's always the unexpected ones, you know. It's like it's a good time. Even with Ty, it was super just like last minute. I was at work and this girl I know posted up that her job was doing adoptions and that he was there for like almost a month and no one wanted him. And my roommate at the time, we had agreed that I could get a cat. So I texted him and I was like, yo man, found one. And yeah, I was thankful, you know, he only got two trips around the sun, but it was a good time and I miss him a lot. It's
Oh no, why am I losing you again?
Are you? Can you hear me?
Oh, I hear you now. Okay.
Okay. It could have been just because Bo kind of like nicked my mic, so it's like I'm
Oh,
trying. I'm trying this new setup where I'm actually using an actual mic because I was having issues when I was teaching lessons.
oh, okay, cool.
But yeah, I mean, outside of that, yeah, I got two cats, and it's been a good time.
Well, that's awesome. I'm glad. We
But
we all here at the house, uh, we all have all wanted pets, but with our lease and stuff, they won't allow us to. We would have to pay like a fuck ton out of pocket to get an animal.
advice, ESA.
Yeah, that's what we were trying, but it's like a pretty much like a no. Like even with the because we're already signed, we already finished our contract, so we're month to month. So
Mm-hmm.
since we're a month to month, the guy can like literally just be like no and just kick us out.
Oh
And we don't
yeah,
have we don't have like an actual contract no more.
gotcha. Yeah. Well, maybe the next place you guys live, keep that in mind because that's how we have our pets here. My apartment was like, nah. And then I was like, well, here you go.
Yeah, that's how it's been. Every apartment that we've had, they're always like, yeah, no animals, and we're just like, fuck, okay, that's cool, I guess.
Yeah. And it helps too. Like Jake, he has a dog named Mara, and she's awesome. She's a German Shepherd Husky, and that's how he got to bring her here too. And obviously I'm not telling people to like go if ESAs. I would like to think if you sign up and get one, then it's like you legitimately need one. Especially this last year, just to kind of segue, which will lead back to some music related stuff.
Go
And
for it.
this after Ty died, I finally started to get therapy again, and like I started going to therapy, and it's been a huge help. But come on, come on, Bo. But it wasn't enough. Um, Ty was having Ty really made me understand that. Oh my God, hold on. Sorry, give me 1 second.
Now you're good. His cat, his cat is all over the back of his like
He
setup.
he likes to go into the blinds, and he
Oh,
like
into the blinds.
he got stuck, so I just opened them so he could not get stuck. But
That's
yeah,
so
it's
funny.
like
I can see a silhouette in your glasses.
yeah,
and
he's struggling right now. Come on, Bubba. But yeah, it's like it's been a huge help. In our last music video, um, for Drown Part Two, that was a continuation. That's a second part of a Without Hope song called Drown. Um, and now that I've put myself first and like really started to like work on that aspect of things, I've been a lot more comfortable and open talking about like mental health and stuff.
yeah, that's important.
Yeah, and it's like I'm a huge advocate for it, obviously to each their own, but I just hope that like people that feel like they need help, they go get it. And just remember that it's for you, it's not for anyone else. You know, because there are people out there that don't believe in like mental health problems and like think it's all a joke, and it's not, man. Like if you're really feeling that way, then do what you need to do. um and like a lot of people post up about this, but it's like I'd much rather hear your story than see you on a shirt.
Yeah, I agree.
um and so like for me, I'm not gonna lie, like COVID was initially, just like for a lot of us, was really difficult. My living situation wasn't good, and I was really just feeling low. But I'm thankful Jake really helped me out. And like the dudes, like I finally opened up to them about stuff, and yeah, it made the world a difference. But with Drown, like if anyone wants to go back and listen to the Without Hope album, the only one we put out, Drown, I took pieces of my suicide note from when I just got out of high school and put it in the chorus of the song. So Drown Part 2 was really just the continuation of like finishing up that story. And we put resources in the beginning of the video, um, and one of which is Open Path, and that's where I got my therapy from. And so yeah, it's just, I just hope, like I said, I just hope that if anyone's struggling, you know, they know that there are people that want to listen.
Yeah.
Music has been a huge help, I think, for all of us, you know, in one way or another, whether we realize it or not, that, you know, it's a huge part of who we are. It's part of our identity. And losing that, I know, for a lot of people was very, very difficult. But I'm thankful we can all hopefully get back together soon and have fun. And I don't, just like you were saying, I don't know how shows are going to go. But when they do come back and like actually come back, like I can't wait. You know, I can't wait to see everyone and to just like have a good time and, you know, move forward.
Yeah. No, it's I think I feel like our situation is a little bit different than your situation, just because we had I don't know if you know much of what happened with us last year, but we had a member change, a removal,
Yeah.
and so like coming back from that with so many people that hate us for it, so many people that still are on our side. I do know quite a few people that are still on our side, and both parties of the whole situation are correct, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I get it.
you know, it was I've never thought I'd be put in that situation, and so when me and Hector were both put in that situation, it was so incredibly hard to handle and deal with. Like, you don't fucking know what to do.
Yeah.
You have so many people just talking all this shit to you, and all you want to do is just be like, you just want to satisfy everyone so that everyone could just shut the fuck up and leave you
Yeah.
alone, because trying to process all that is just so fucked. And I have zero feeling towards any of those people that I know that said shit. Like,
Yeah.
when I say I have zero feeling, I'm talking about like they could say something straight to my face. They could fucking post online how much they fucking hate me or whatever they want, and I'm just gonna just be like, all right, does that make you feel better? Do you feel like a fucking man? Does it make you feel great? You're a big fucking boy now? Is that how you feel? Cool. Glad. Now get the fuck out of my face. Bye.
Yeah.
Like, I don't you try to put me in my place, well, realize that you didn't. Excuse you. Did you
Thank you.
sneeze?
Yeah, I did. Thanks.
I didn't hear anything, so I was like, damn, that was quiet.
Nah, dude, I feel it. I did follow that whole thing. Um, you know, out of everyone, you're the one I've talked to the most, so I didn't feel that I needed to swing one way or the other. Like for the people talking, you know, that have talked shit, still talking shit. I mean, for them, it's more of obviously it has to do with the fact that they liked that person,
Yeah.
you know. And regardless, I mean, I'll be honest, even with the last fifth member of Without Hope, the things he did were terrible, and there were still people on his side. You know, it's like he did abysmal things to someone that he claimed he loved, and there were still people, oh, you're not shit, like, to me, because it it was really just one of those things. I went to the gym with him and his ex, and like started realizing that there was inconsistencies in his story, and then I started realizing what was going on,
Yeah.
and I spoke up, and obviously that didn't sit well with people. They want to believe like, oh, he's not like that, blah blah blah. But it's like, dude, you weren't there, man. Like at the end of the
Yeah.
at the end of the day, all I can say about your situation is you and Hector did what you felt was the right thing to do, and at the end of the day, everyone has their own opinion, but they can all kick rocks, man, because morally, whatever, however you guys were feeling, clearly it didn't sit right with y'all. So me personally, I can't blame you, you
Yeah.
know, because it's like, how would it have been if you guys stayed in that and you just like let it go, but deep down inside you were hating it every second of the way because morally you're like, this ain't right.
Yeah. No, 100%. I agree.
So
Oh, it's one of those things where it's like we we still it was a dumb decision at the end of the day, and we acted irrationally, and over time I've understood that I've me and Hector both acted out of fear,
mm-hmm.
guilt, just being upset, like being put in the situation of that, and like all these people that claim to be your fucking friends like are just attacking you, and some of these people were saying things that were absolutely not true, and this is about both parties,
Yeah.
both parties are saying things about us as each individual band member talking shit about us, and I'm like, okay, well that's not true, and that's not true, and this is not true, and all these other people are just believing them, and I'm like, why don't you just ask the people that they're talking about?
Yeah.
Because what ends up happening, literally, this is what has happened ever since that has happened. Every time I've met someone new, they're always, and you know what's funny is I tweeted this today, and Ice-T actually liked it, which was fucking hilarious.
Nice.
Yeah, right? Fucking the crazy shit. Ice-T liked my tweet. Anyways, it was like, I tweeted this thing saying, I still run into people for the first time that say you are nothing like so and so said. You are
Yep.
actually super nice and very genuine. And then there's other people, and then like for the situation, what happened with us? I'm still telling the truth. So when people like ask me, I tell them this is the truth. It is what it is, and if you can't fucking believe the truth, and you'd rather believe some fake, false shit twisted that someone else said that wasn't a part of it, then you know what? Obviously, I don't want you as my friend. I don't want you to follow the band. I don't want anything to fucking do with you. You chose a fucking side. And now that you
Yeah.
know the truth, there you go. Pick a fucking side. And if you want to, choose, want to follow someone else, kick rocks. Like,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, all of us are good people. All of us are solid fucking dudes. All of us. Everybody within the band and people without the band. Well, actually, our one of our old drummers is a piece of shit, and I don't care. Fuck that guy. He's a piece of shit. But no, we're all great dudes. We're all loving dudes, and anyone that wants to fucking get mad about it could just kick rocks. It's like, dude, you ain't fucking perfect.
Yeah.
You're probably a fucking creep online all fucking day, but you're gonna act like a fucking hero. It's okay.
That's what I was gonna say. It's like, dude, at the end of the day, we're all human, man. Like like I said at the time, you and Hector felt like morally these things didn't line up with what you guys were trying to do. You made the best decision you felt at the time. And that doesn't mean you can't turn around and feel how you're feeling and be like, oh, well, fuck, maybe we shouldn't have approached it that way. You played the hand that you were dealt, and at the end of the day, it's like you acknowledge that you guys agree, like, all right, maybe we shouldn't have handled it that way. And if people still want to give you shit for it, oh fucking well, man. They weren't the ones put in that position,
No, not at all.
so it is what it is, dude. It's like that's one thing, like, my guys know I don't really care what people say about me. It's just like, you know what, man, I know who I am, and I know people talk shit. And whatever, it's like I'm still doing my thing. The people that like me, and if you don't, what, I'm not gonna lose sleep over it.
Yeah, I feel. You know what's funny is like there's people that fucking I know that don't like me for sure. They don't like me, and they still follow me on the internet.
They got to
And
keep tabs on you, buddy.
yeah, and I'm like, okay, I know you don't like me. Like that's fine though. You want to see me be successful? That's cool. You want to see me do more shit just to make you upset? That's fine with me. Like whatever, dude.
Speaking of which, so what's up with this liquid death thing, man? Is that legit or what's going on?
Okay, so okay, cool. You know what? I'm actually stoked to talk about this. So, there was this thing that was like, oh, you can apply for the sponsorship with them, and I was like, okay, cool. So I applied for it, and they emailed me back telling me that like, we could work out a like game plan on how it works. I was like, okay, that's awesome. And so, hold on, my girlfriend, she's silly. Don't worry, I won't forget. Okay. So pretty much what it is I if I so how my thing works is when I mention the liquid death in my podcast, I send them the podcast first. That way they could and I just pretty much I just send it to them and I timestamp where I say it and then I post it and then they send me what our deal is worth.
Nice. That's awesome.
Now, I'm not technically. I mean, I talk about it like I talk about it, but I don't yet because I'm waiting until some other factors follow
Yeah.
through. That way, it's not sporadic. Because right now, it's more of whenever I do talk about it, then I could send it to them or whatever. I'm waiting until it's gonna be more of a consecutive like thing that's gonna happen, and then that way I don't have to fucking like try to remember which episode I didn't talk about it because this happened while I already had like 4 podcasts done. So it's
Right.
like, yeah, so I have to make sure I get all my other podcasts out first before I start talking about it.
Nah,
So,
I feel that. Yeah, man. I mean, it's like I know you had mentioned it um like vaguely, and so yeah, it was just I knew that that was something that I wanted to bring up. But I feel it, man. Like just kind of working working around it until it like becomes a every episode type deal, and
yeah.
and yeah, like you said, the consistency. I feel that, dude. It's like even with not even necessarily sponsorship, but like, Safe Haven, we're under the Dreamer Agency, and
Okay.
so they've been managing us since the start, and it's been great. Craig and Cam are amazing people, and they took a chance on people. Granted, they knew David from Mother Sound when he was in when that band was off playing Warp Tour and stuff. They managed them, so it gave us a little bit of an in, but still, it we never played a show. We didn't have a song out, so they really could have just said, "We'll wait and see." But they liked us, and we've been working with them, and it's been a really, really fun like ride with them. It's been a great relationship with them. Definitely check out the Dreamer Agency and Craig's band No Home. They're fucking sick.
Dude, I love Craig. Dude, well, all of No Home stayed at my house for like almost a week when they were on tour because like their shows got canceled or some shit. Or they had like a 3-day or 4-day period where they didn't have shows because of whatever happened. So
Mm-hmm.
they all just were like, "Hey, can we stay at your house for a night?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's sure. Yeah, sure, that's fine." Because Bance, their photographer, was on tour with them, and I knew Bance, so they all come over, and we're all hanging out. And then they were explaining to me and Jordan this situation. Like, yeah, we don't have a show for like 4 fucking days, and we were like, "Well, then just stay here." And they were like, "Are you sure?" We were just like, "Dude, we have a huge ass living room. You guys are all really nice. We work throughout the day. Just Hector's here all day,
Yeah.
or yeah, Hector's here all day because he works nights, and me and Jordan will be here all night because we're here. So if someone will always be at the house for you guys, and then yeah, they like lived at our house for like a week. It was great. They
Nice.
were fucking awesome. They all cleaned up after themselves. They all like literally all the dudes were very respectful. They're all really wonderful people.
Yeah. No, it's been great, dude. Like, especially like Without Hope, like we had a couple deals here and there, and like the people were cool, but it was just we were young, we didn't really understand what the hell was going on. So like we were very, especially me, I was very adamant on what I was like looking for.
Yeah.
And it was cool. Like this is what really gave me a good feeling was before I even had a chance to say anything, they had already said something beyond what I was gonna like ask for.
Okay.
So they were giving us something that I didn't even think, that I probably thought was too much. Like, okay, I'm probably going to push my luck if I'm like going to try and push for this. And then that's what they gave us. And instantly it was just like, it just felt like, man, like, all right, this is like really a family type deal, like we're all homies. We understand like when things like need to get done, we can get them done. But then if we want to send memes and like shoot the shit, we can do it and it's not awkward.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's been just a really good time. But what I was going to say about it was, we had some people ask like, all right, so what's the details, like what are you like, what's going on? Like there was some bands that were interested in possibly hitting them up, and some of them understood, others didn't understand and tried to say that I was sketchy because I didn't want to tell them about like our business dealings. And just just an FYI for all the other homies out there, if you guys get a deal, please don't fucking tell your homies. Don't tell them the details, man, because if they hit up those people, like if I told these bands like what our deal was and they hit up Craig and Cam expecting that same deal and not get it, then it turns into, well, DeVonte said this,
Yeah.
and it's like that's gonna come back and bite me in the ass. And so
Yeah.
yeah, just a piece of advice: don't do that because you're just gonna potentially screw yourself.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
wanna I wanna work with the Dreamer Agency hella bad, but last time I emailed them was like 2 years ago, and they never even fucking replied back.
things have changed. Cam's been really on top of everything, and Craig is. I know Craig has like really been working on adding bands to his roster, and he has. Oh God, hold on, I gotta look this up because they've been dropping some really cool fucking songs.
So wait, what?
Um,
What? I don't like. I know like don't you don't have to tell me about your deal or whatever, but like, what is it exactly that they do? Because they're not like it's not like a manage. It's not like a manager, but it's more like what? Okay, you know what? I'm okay. Fuck what I said. Just what do they do?
so Craig does manage us.
Okay.
Like if you go on their site, you go to their roster list, you're gonna see us. That's our EPK. Our contact info is, you hit up Craig. He's the one that will do like, all like, I guess the dealing, at least like when tours come back, like that's gonna be the deal. Like he's gonna be the face of us.
Okay.
He's like, and so like it's like a give and take. He represents us, we represent them, right? And so like really any decision that we make, we run it through him, like because at the end of the day, obviously there are bands out there, they can do the DIY stuff like Northlane, like they were with Rise for a bunch, like a long time. They were on Unified, now they're independent.
Yeah.
But it took them a long time to get independent. Being as an Ocean was on In Vogue, Equal Vision, independent, and getting to like, I've talked with Josh of Northlane a couple times, and he took on the manager role of Northlane, and he was telling me, he was like, dude, I learned a lot, um, but there's still a bunch that I didn't know, um, and it's like that's kind of where we're at. It's like we learned a lot from like being in Without Hope, fucking up a bunch, and then like realizing like, oh, if we did this instead, like this will work better. It turned into us having outside perspectives that even though they work with us, they're not biased. Like they tell us how it is. Even if
Yeah.
we think it's the best idea in the world, they'll point out the flaws, and then it helps us realize like, oh shit, like yeah, maybe that's not like the best move like financially in the world,
Yeah.
and stuff. So yeah, it's like he's really been helping us kind of keep the ship together, and like with planning and everything, giving us suggestions, helping us with our marketing, and like putting out plans together for releasing music and stuff. Like a lot of this stuff that we've ended up doing for Safe Haven honestly came from us sitting and talking with Craig and Cam and trying to really hone it in.
What's Cameron from, or who's Cameron from?
So Cam, he runs the Dreamer Agency.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so our direct manager is Craig, but we talk to both of them. Um, and like Craig is I guess you can say would be our day to day. Obviously, like not playing shows and stuff. We'll talk every once in a while, when things are starting to come up or we're planning to do stuff and just want to get some insight. And then Cam, he's there too to give his opinion and like helped us out. Like we haven't like really announced this yet, but again, I can say it because I'm not really giving anything away. But it's like we we have plans for next year, like at least like kind of how you were saying earlier, like you don't really know how shows are going to be, so we kind of plan for like, well, we're going to see early 2022, see how things are looking, and like if things are looking good, then we'll throw our name in for like some runs and like maybe like a small festival here and there. So we have plans for that. And we got someone for that too, and we're just kind of biding our time, just waiting for things to really start turning around for everyone. And that was a huge thing for all of us, on all sides of this. Was, even out here there's people playing shows and like tap rooms and stuff, and it's like, for me it really became a question of why.
Yeah, makes sense.
Because it's like, dude, like these bigger bands that like actually like rely on this stuff, like can't play shows, and it's like not all local bands can play shows. So it's like you were saying, I don't want to play a show like and then get backlash for it.
Yeah.
So for me especially, it's all of us or none of us.
Same.
And thankfully, like Craig, Cam, and everyone, has been on board with that. So yeah, we just really have like a good hand to be dealt, and there's like no pressure from Dreamer. Like obviously with the circumstances, they understand. And yeah, just nothing but helpful. They've just been like in our corner and have really kind of opened up some doors for us. So yeah, it's just been a good time.
Well, I'm glad. That's really awesome. So what? Okay, so are you? Let me think. How do I ask this? When it comes to Safe Haven, so we went from Without Hope, and then we played that show with you guys, and you guys went to Safe Haven. Now that you guys are in Safe Haven, you guys have the music going, you're doing the Dreamer Agency stuff. If a label actually wanted to be with you guys, would you guys ever sign to a label, or would you just stick to an agency kind of thing?
I love and hate this question because not everyone likes my answer. Um, it all depends. We obviously working with Craig and Cam, there's been some insight. I will say that early on we did discuss it. And I'm not going to say that it's a complete no, but the deal has to be right. Obviously we're not like this huge band or anything, and like it's not like we have a lot of weight to throw, but we value the art we create more than shipping it off for exposure.
Makes sense.
And initially, especially in Without Hope, like since that's come and gone, we had some smaller labels hit us up. None of them are around anymore.
Damn.
But we obviously being young, were like super gung-ho and thought that we were going to do it and like saw it as like a stepping stone. And then Nat, her grandpa's a lawyer, and we had him read all the contracts, and he was like, all of these are trash. And I like brought it to my old boss and had him read a couple of them, and he was like, no, this is terrible, like you guys are going to lose everything. And then some of my friends' bands that were bigger, that were touring, won't name drop, but they were on labels, and it made it seem like, oh, this is like the best thing ever. And then you actually talk to them and they're just like, nah, like this sucks. And like one of the bands actually broke up for a little while because they were done and like they were in contract, and then waited it out. Now they're a band again, and it's just it. Like I said, it just all depends. Like I would like that, I guess, on a personal level, like to get on one. Yeah,
Makes
but
sense.
growing up in the scene, I think we can all say it too. It's like growing up in the scene, you see the, obviously not every label's like that. You know,
Yeah,
there's some labels where it's like, dude, this is the fucking best thing ever.
and
But
it
not
is.
all, yeah, but not all of us are fortunate enough to get that opportunity with those labels. Or what ends up happening is we bite the bullet too soon, think, okay, this is the best deal we can get now, do it, screw ourselves. When in actuality, if we just waited it out another 6 to 12 months, that label that we liked would have picked us up, you
Makes
know?
sense.
So it's like, I think too, with that end of things, I'm not like a guru when it comes to like the business end of music stuff, but I would just say to a lot of bands too, just know your worth, man. It's not what it's all cracked up to be. Like, yeah, you get to say that you're signed. That's like saying with Dreamer, it's like, I love it, we love it, like, you know, but deep down it could have gone the other way, you know, and then it
Yeah,
would have just, then it would have just been like, well, fuck, dude, like we did this and we get to say it and it looks cool on paper, like, oh yeah, we're on this management team, but like deep down we could have been like, dude, this is awful. Thankfully that's not the case. And
yeah.
like, you know, but that's always been my fear. um and I don't think I'll get in trouble for saying this, because it doesn't have anything to do with Safe Haven, but like, we knew some people that were on Stasic before they dissolved and turned into, I think, Modern Empire or whatever they're called
Yeah.
now. And it sucked because they had a niche and they signed bands that weren't within that, and they basically took their music and told them to kick rocks, you know. And
That's
like,
what Modern Empire did.
um this is not Modern Empire. Like, this is like, this is what happened under Stasic when they had like all the old people
Yeah.
there. Like now, I'll be honest, one of the labels that has come up that we discussed that if an offer came, we'd really sit down and think about it is Modern Empire. But this was a while ago that we talked about that. But I know that that's one of the ones that that did kind of cross our minds as a potential
Be
landing spot.
careful with it, because and like hear me out, because at one point, so the original okay, so where a lot of those bands came from was from a label back in like early 2000s, kind of like I think all the way up to about 2010 is when it was. Fuck, it was called fuck. So what happened was Franz actually bought out this label,
Mm-hmm.
um, and so he made Stay Sick, and then I don't, fuck, I can't remember what the fuck it was called. Oh my god, it's gonna drive me fucking nuts. Okay, give me like 1 second.
For sure. Yeah,
Um,
you're good.
yeah, but like there was some All right, here, let me just type it and see if it. Okay, Eulogy recordings. Do you remember Eulogy?
No.
All right, so Eulogy Records was the thing a long time ago, and then Franz, made Stay Sick, and then he bought out Eulogy, and all those became Stay Sick bands. And then now that Modern Empire bought Stay Sick, which and technically buys Eulogy at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, be careful. And I say be careful because if that is like that could possibly happen to them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Modern Empire. That just randomly popped up. Never heard of it in my life. So maybe you know more than me. I don't know, but
Yeah, there was just some inside stuff that we had kind of figured out, like who was running Modern Empire and like his connections to people that we're cool with, and just like the overall opinion of how he runs things. It was just something that kind of came up. But yeah, like I said, this was like early on. This is probably honestly around this time. So really only 2 months into us actually focusing on what Safe Haven was going to be. And, you know, obviously we just, for us, it was really just, okay, let's set some goals and like, let's work towards them. Even if we don't complete them fully, like at least we can say, okay, well, at least we got X, Y, and Z done along the way.
yeah.
Um,
You know what's
but
funny is after that show, after the headliner that we had with you guys, which oh my god, that show was absolutely fucking amazing.
yeah, it was
Um, fuck, there was like 237 people, I believe, is what walked through the door.
nice.
So on the same night as Silverstein, I'm satisfied,
Yeah.
100%. Our bassist Austin, he actually went to your guys' merch table and bought some of your merch because he was like, he thought you guys were absolutely amazing, and he was like, I'm so bummed out that they're not a band anymore. I was like, I think they're another band now. He's like, really? I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like the same members. And he's like, really? And I was like, yeah, but I couldn't remember what it was off the top of my head.
Yeah. So the guys hate when I say this, but whatever, they love me. Before we really decided that we were going to continue, I personally was feeling like, man, maybe like I just want to step away for a little while. It was discouraging having to deal with the things that we dealt with and having that kind of associated with us. And it put a bitter taste in my mouth. But then, so like, even when we played that show, even though we had already decided on Safe Haven and stuff, I was still feeling like I didn't know.
Yeah.
And then, honestly, COVID really helped me with that. Like,
I haven't even liked Safe Haven on my new band. Okay, so I made a new Facebook page, so I went and re-liked Safe Haven. I just did it right now because I was like, wait a minute. I was like, because I made a new Facebook last year, and so I've been telling everybody like, yo, fucking send me your band invites because I need to re-like everyone's pages.
Nice.
Sorry,
well,
keep going.
Thank you. No, you're good, man. But yeah, it was just a lot of like, it was hard because I had also, I won't go into details, but I'd also dealt with some accusations before we recorded what is the debut Safe Haven record. I had made some comments on something that some people took out of context, and it turned into me. Now get this, it turned me into being a homophobe and a person and being anti people of color.
Oh my god. What the fuck?
Right.
What?
You know, and so that was
can we elaborate for those that can't see what you're talking about?
Well, so I'm black and Filipino. So, you know, not going to lie, those people, I'm not going to lie, initially they had people swinging their way. It had all revolved around a show, and literally all I said was, "Hey, I don't know this dude, but if he's that much of an asshole and contributes to violence against the LGBT youth and people of color, then don't go. Yeah. Don't put yourself in that situation."
Yeah.
And, you know, it spun into all of that. And up until that point, there were people that were like, oh my God, he's homophobic. Newsflash, my best friend is she's trans. And it's like,
nice.
Best friend of 15 years.
Nice.
You know, and it's like some of my best friends are gay, bi, whatever, you know, however you want to say it.
Yeah.
That's who they are. And so it really caught me off guard when all of that kind of came back into my face. And then these people were like, you're anti people of color. And then everyone was like, but wait, he's black. And then it all just went away.
Okay, you know what? I got something to say about that. Not the second part. The first part is that it's like, I have like some really close friends that are, you know, gay, or even lesbian. And like, you know, I grew up with these people, like literally I'm talking about like we went to elementary school together, and so you know we've been friends for 20 fucking years, 25 years, so there's a lot of insider stuff. So it's like if I was to ever like comment on one of their things about an insider joke and no one would understand, I would probably get canceled so fucking fast.
Yeah.
But it's like the person I'm talking to, which is not the person reading this, like, you know, the person I'm talking to that's in like whatever the post is, like my friend, she or he would immediately know what I'm talking about and have probably a very smart ass thing to say towards me being a straight guy.
Yeah.
But that's just how we grew up being to each other, just because
exactly.
that's what we do. But like people on the outside would look in and just assume the worst, and it's like I wasn't even talking to you.
Yeah. Oh, that's
like.
Dude, my girlfriend, her and her dad always say this about assuming. It makes an ass out of you and me.
Oh, yeah.
And that's really what it was, man. I think that's one thing, too, that sucks. especially like the day and age that we live in, it's so easy to just be like, oh, someone made this comment about you, don't know shit about you. I mean, you're experiencing that. Oh wow, dude, like you're a lot cooler and nicer than what I heard. And it's like, god damn it, man. It's like, why don't you
True.
just like form your own opinion of me? It's like I'm honest, like I'm a nice dude, but I know that I say things that probably piss people off because I'm also very blunt,
Yeah.
you know. But it's like I'm not gonna sugarcoat shit because then that's me being fake. And then if if I'm like that with you, then we're homies, we're hanging out, then you see the real me, then you're like, oh, what the fuck? Like this dude is like hella different. And it's like,
Yeah.
nah, what you see is what you get, man. Like it is what it is. But yeah, it's like that whole thing I think was funny because I just made the realization like last week. We some of the subject matter, well, one of the songs on our album really dives deep on how it's bullshit that people really think that way. Like, just because you like something that maybe doesn't fit the stereotype.
Yeah.
Like me, I'm a black dude that plays metal. All throughout high school, oh, dude, you're not fucking black, blah, blah, blah. But on the flip side, I played football, I did kickboxing, like I did other things, but because I liked metal, that discredited me,
That's whack.
right? And so like Nemo, I would say this song, and I think people will really hear it and feel it. This song was very, very important to him. I think this song and one of the other songs were very, very important to him, and he really dove in and really got to say what he wanted to say on things, regarding the subject matter. And yeah, man, I would say, just to bring it back around to like the music stuff, I would say that currently this is the best thing that we've ever done. Um, I can also say, see, I love this. I can say shit and I can't get in trouble. We have been writing some new stuff too. It's like it's kind of hard. Like we recorded this album almost 2 years ago, and
Fuck.
we had plans to release it last year. COVID said no, and now like we're putting the final touches on, well, like the release of it. Like we're just kind of just waiting and have a plan set, and I can't wait for everyone to get this batch of songs because it really, really means a lot to us. And just shout out to Mike Som because that's the dude that helped me and help us really bring this album to life. I think that's one thing, kind of being the only guitarist, sometimes your brain runs out and of ideas, and to have
Yeah.
to have someone like him
Yeah.
sit and like we went through all the songs and like we just A-B'd stuff. It really made this album into something that I could sit and no shame listen to it, and just not even for practices, like practice purposes, just really sit and just realize like, man, like we did this, you
So
know.
is it just you three? So okay, so that was actually something else because you played guitar in Without Hope, right? And
Yeah.
then now you play guitar in this band, and you play guitar for Pyramid Court, right? All three.
So Pyramid Court's a little iffy. Initially, so for the first show we played, I played guitar and I sang.
Okay.
And then we had a show. So really I was supposed to be playing and singing because I'm the vocalist of that band. We played a show and we didn't have room for my guitar. So
Oh
I was like
shit.
fuck it, I'll just sing, because it was like last minute. We had to like bring something for one of the bands, or I can't remember what it was, but it just, I was the last one to leave, so I couldn't throw extra gear into someone else's car. So after that, I just stuck to doing the vocal stuff. Um, but song wise, I write everything except for bass.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
Jake Jake's the bassist of both bands, and he is he does phenomenal with all that. So I think there's only one Pyramid Court song I actually wrote bass for, and that was because I was messing with my bass and came up with like a really fun bass line,
Yeah.
and that was like the only time in like the 7 years going on 8 years of us playing music that I was actually like, so this is, yeah, you're good, you're gonna play this, like this is what's gonna be like your thing, because for this particular song the bass line really is the anchor of this song.
Okay, makes
um
sense.
and so I was really adamant on that, but outside of that, yeah, like even David too, like David has helped us, kind of touch up on drums a bit, but for the most part, like I write everything for
Okay,
that
that's
band.
cool.
Yeah, and then Safe Haven, I play guitar, do a little bit of vocals stuff live. But that is a more interesting process. We did this approach in Without Hope, and it really helped us. I'm not a fan of writing for everyone in that band. Um, Pyramid Court, it's a little different because it's just Jake and I.
Yeah.
Um, but with Safe Haven, I will just write all the guitars,
Okay.
send it off to David. David will write drums, and like basically we just pass it around, and like we'll sit and we'll listen to it with just guitars and drums. We'll write down any changes. If we feel like, all right, let's add bass, like let's see like how it's going. Jake will write his parts. We'll listen to it again, and then we'll just kind of make changes as we go. So,
Makes sense.
like I've been in bands where it's like one dude wrote everything and it just got super fucking stale,
Yeah.
and then it became like a power struggle when like the other guitarist or even me, like we're jamming and we come up with stuff and everyone but this dude likes it. And then it's just like, well, I mean, what, like last I checked, we're all in this band, man,
Yeah.
and I just, if
I
that
think that's.
works.
Oh, sorry. Like, and I think that's why I like the switch that we've done in the band is because like in Titan, like what we're doing is gonna be like massively different than everything else we've ever done. Like I've explained to people like this next song that we're gonna be putting out. Hopefully, everyone that listens to it, the anybody that used to listen to it, if they want to listen to it, that's cool. Anybody that's new that's listening to it, no matter what, anybody that listens to it, I really hope that when they hear it, they don't think about who we used to be. I hope that they go, look, they had a good run with Jordan and they did really good stuff. They made great songs. This is like a whole new band. And
Yep.
they're not going to, I hope that they could separate past from future and not forget about what we've done in the past because we already talked that we're still going to play a couple of the old songs because we have fans that are old fans that still want to listen to them, and we still have newer fans that are gonna
Yeah.
want to listen to those songs. So, it's a new direction. I'll show you a snippet after this because I can share my screen real quick, and I'll just show you a little bit of what we're doing.
Cool.
But I'm sorry for cutting you off. I
No,
struggle
you're
sometimes. I
good.
want to like blurt something out, but keep going. Sorry.
No, you're good. It's funny that you mentioned it because I'll give you credit for this. It was something that we had kind of thought about, but when I listened to your podcast with Darius, you guys were talking about how, Darius has like their new thing that they're trying to do, and how like they were unsure if they were going to keep some of the old songs, and you made a good point. Well, you wrote them,
Yeah.
so, why not? And for us, we were kind of in a spot, and thankfully this hasn't come up much, but I think it will once the rest of the songs come out. The last song we dropped was Drown Part 2.
Yeah.
Drown is a Without Hope song, and obviously we intended to release Drown 2 as a Without Hope song. Um, and this is all just kind of up in the air at the moment, but I'm pretty sure it's going to happen. Drown and Samsara from with the Without Hope
Oh,
days
nice.
might make a comeback. We've been kind of kicking the idea around, and kind of re-recording them. I did re-record them, just how they were. I made a couple changes, but we are going to go back in and probably do the things that we didn't get to do before, and kind of spice the songs up a bit. And we may release them as like some B-side stuff, just kind of like, hey, here's like some extra stuff. And we're in the same boat though, as you guys, where it's just kind of like we recorded this album 2 years ago next month. I think it was June, either June or July. um and like our tastes have changed, and like the songs that we have written lately, um it's the same but different, like, and we're in a position, especially with me, where it's like I kind of just said fuck it and was like, you know what, my music tastes have changed a little bit. Still love like the metalcore genty stuff, still gonna do it, but I wanted to add some variety in there because when we recorded this album, we were on crunch time.
Yeah.
We, especially back then, like we weren't really working the jobs that we're working now. And so like money, we had to really tinker around like how we were going to spend the money. And if we had more time, we would have done a lot more of the things that we wanted to. So now that we have the opportunity, we're like revisiting things. Like one thing people have kind of mentioned to me was like in Without Hope, Nemo sang a lot, you know, like there was a lot of like actual like singing and not like, you know, he does like the Sam Carter, like pitch screaming stuff. And so it's like, we definitely got away from that, but it wasn't because we necessarily wanted to. It was really just because we wanted to get this recording done so bad that, you know, not necessarily cut corners, but it didn't give us time to fully experiment the way we wanted to.
Yeah.
And so now, like with these new songs, like this new batch of songs, it's like a lot of that's going to come back. And just even like instrumentally, it's like so much different in a way, but it's just stuff that we're proud of. And but yeah, just wanted to tell you that you have reopened that door for us to kind of maybe release those, because those were like the two favorite songs from the album. So we're just, and I miss playing them, so it's like if I get the opportunity to fucking play them again, like more than
Dude,
merrier.
play them. Dude, okay.
You know?
Okay, think of it this way. How many bands have done cover songs?
Oh yeah.
Like,
That's true.
it's like you don't have, like, okay, so you're not, okay, just because you play a Lamb of God song, are you Lamb of God now? No, you're not. But this is the thing. The thing is you wrote those songs. Whether you were in 2, 3, 4 bands ago, but if a majority of your fucking band members were in those past bands, and you're like, yeah, you know, or it's like, we're going to throw, this is a throwback from when we used to be Without Hope. This is one of our old songs that we loved playing. We're bringing it back.
Yeah.
Boom. No one's going to give a shit. No one will give no one, if anything, people are going to be stoked because they're going to be like, oh, cool, they're going to play a throwback song. That's so fucking cool, man. I only know them because of Safe Haven. I'm going to get to hear what they used to sound like. Dude, if anyone wants to be negative about a song you're playing, dude, they literally need to go fucking get a hobby.
Yeah.
Music.
Speaking of which, too, just because we're not tied down to to shit for this, but Nemo, Jake, and I have been pondering around the idea of kind of doing a re-release of the album that we put out as Without Hope. You know, like we self-produced that, not necessarily by choice. It just kind of happened. It kind of fell into my lap. And I'm not like the best guy in the world, but I definitely have gotten better. And so it's like we miss the songs. So that's kind of been a thing too, where it's like we've been thinking about re-recording everything. Or when I say we, I mean Nemo re-recording. Jake and I have been done because we got bored and did it all.
Done. Yeah.
But that's kind of been the thing too, because we have ideas for Samsara and Drown. So I guess to shorten this up, sorry, hold on, give me 1 second. Just to shorten this up, there might be a re-release of In Search Of, but I can't guarantee that Samsara and Drown are going to be on it, because we have ideas for those songs, and you know, we want them, if we do bring them back, if that's something that we decide, you know, we want them to kind of be in the forefront of things.
Yeah, makes sense. I agree. Hold up. So, I'm actually gonna wrap this up pretty soon because it's almost
Cool.
8 o'clock.
Oh goddamn, yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? We've been talking for like an hour and a half. I don't know. I think it's been an hour and a half. We had like a minute of having to reconnect. Okay, so I like to ask this, and this is what my girlfriend texted me earlier, because I actually forgot to ask a different host of mine. I forgot to ask him what his favorite breakdowns were while during the podcast, because he was outside like using some kind of he was using somebody else's internet. I guess I got a coffee shop and he had to leave, so like I didn't even get time to ask him. He had bounced off. So what are your top 3 favorite breakdowns ever?
Ooh.
Ever. Top 3 ever.
Okay, let's see.
I like to do a throwback. I like to do something I recently heard and then find a middle ground. That's how I figure it out.
Okay, let's see. Let me I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna use my good old phone because there's a lot that I like. I would say, hmm. Okay, I would say the breakdown, like one of the newer ones that I really like, is the one in Cloud Cascade by Invent Animate.
Okay, okay. I've heard somebody talk about that actually recently.
That one's pretty cool. Let's see. I would say another one. I want to try and break it up a little bit, but I think it's going to be a little difficult to do so. I would say Shadow Self, Reflections, because that one is just like really grimy and nasty. Um, then a throwback one. Ooh. Wow, that's a good one. I guess this one wouldn't necessarily be a breakdown, but it gives breakdown vibes as Bulls on Parade by
Oh wow,
Rage.
I did not think about that.
Just like that intro riff, like I every time I hear it, I want to like punch someone in the face.
Do
You
the
know?
I will
But
I will
yeah.
show you a breakdown that will make you want to punch someone in the face.
Nice. I'll show you one too.
Oh, wait. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I'm down for this. I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
Bet.
All right. Hey, if somebody wanted to find you on social media in the band, where would they find you at?
All right. So I would say Instagram would be the best. I would say follow the bands. Safe Haven is safe underscore Haven CA. And then Pyramid Court is Pyramid Court Music. I guess if you did want to follow me, I have a public page. And it's Dev Tishan. So DEVTSHAWN. And
Nice.
that's where I post all my music stuff. I had to kind of separate things due to some circumstances, but we're all good here. And then just because people always ask, my whole first name is DeVonte Tishan, thus Dev Tishan. People always get confused. They're like, is that your middle name? No, I just go by DeVonte because that's already long enough.
It's already long. That's funny. That's hella funny. All right. Well, I appreciate you doing this, and this will go out Monday.
Oh, sick. Okay, cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
this was fun.
this I have one that's coming out Friday. Yours is going out Monday, and then I'm doing a podcast tomorrow, and his is gonna go out next Friday.
Nice. Well,
But
yeah, thanks for
I
having me, man.